Thank you. You're so welcome. Okay, so for everybody here that I have not met, this is everybody for Vicky. My name is Carrie. I'm the broker development representative at Seller Shield. And today we're just going to go over a few things. One, the two unfairnesses in the real estate industry and how we help solve those. And then two, or that's number two is how we help solve them. And then three, I'm going to show you guys a little bit of the demo. And then if you aren't already logged in and have an account with us, I can help you get that. Okay. Here's a couple of flyers. Amazing. So who in here believes that post-sale claims and lawsuits happen? You raise your hand. They're smart. Yes, they do. They happen and they happen. Unfortunately, not on every transaction, not unfortunately, but they don't happen on every transaction, but when they do, it's usually devastating and sometimes end up paying. So who in here knows what the most common documents that are involved in a post-sale suit? What documents do you most listed? Correct. That's one. Which one? A couple more. So agent marketing materials and MLS statements. But seller's disclosure is the number one. Yeah, so good job there. What do you guys think the top issues are that are listed on? Not recorded for sure, but like what specific things do you think might be listed on there? Water. So good. So plumbing, yes, water damage, flooding, mold, HVAC are all of our top issues that we have. So year after year, Seller Shield has seen an increase in claims. Do you think that increase is 100%, 50%, 35, or 2? 100. Okay. I would say 35. 35, winner, chicken dinner. 35% year after year, guys. So, and this is just people who have actually purchased our home sale legal protection, and we have found out about it. So this is just what we know of year after year through Seller Shield, what we've seen, so 35% income. So just never been a better time to protect yourself and protect your sellers. So we do help make your transactions faster. We help your sellers fill out that disclosure so that you don't have to waste time doing that, and you can do what you're supposed to be doing, which is selling houses. So because of what I told you with that increase year after year in claims, we created two products to help solve that. The first is our gold standard disclosure process. You can think of this as like a TurboTax, but specific for that disclosure form. And then the second thing that we have is our home sale legal protection. This is going to be sort of similar to what you guys have for E&O insurance, but this is specifically for your seller. To go into that a little bit further, so our gold standard disclosure process takes the exact same state forms. So we actually partner with the Pennsylvania Board of Realtors to get those exact forms. We just digitize them, make them interactive. We have expert tips and definitions, and we kind of handhold your seller through that form, making sure they don't skip any questions. They have, like I said, definitions, stuff they might have to come back and ask you. Our form is designed to answer those for them. There's also going to be expandable fields so that they can be as detailed as they want to be whenever they're disclosing. They can fill out pages they want. It'll just keep letting them, it'll just make the disclosure longer. And then, like I said, it's going to save you a ton of time. It's going to make sure you get back the 100% complete and signed form every time. They can't even submit the form to you until every single question has been answered, and then every signature. That's additional here.
So in the Pennsylvania one, it asks a question, and then it says, if you say yes to this question, please give a definition or an explanation. What if the seller doesn't give the explanation, but only says yes?
They won't allow them to submit. They actually have to. So everything that the Pennsylvania Board of Realtors form has, our form has that too. And if there's a spot for them, they have to define, they will have to define that, and then they can move forward. Great question. Thanks, sir. And then this is completely free, guys. So it really is designed to help protect you guys and protect your sellers. It's the same forms. It just, like I said, protects, and it's free to use. So kind of a no-brainer. And then, like I said earlier, 95% of those claims do stem from that disclosure. So the second thing we created is our home sale legal protection. This, like I said, is similar to what you guys have for E&O insurance. This is specific for that seller. This is completely optional, guys, but whenever your seller fills out that disclosure form, they will have the option to purchase home sale legal defense protection. It's not required, optional, but if they do, at the first sign of trouble, we would hire them a local real estate attorney. We would hire them, support them from start to finish. And then we would pay up to $75,000 of their legal defense fees, just depending upon the package that they chose. But all of our packages are less than a 1 hour legal consultation, and it's really just peace of mind for the seller post-closing. Again, we don't ever reach out to your sellers, so if they choose not to purchase the protection, they can still use the tool for free and move on. So then again, just kind of benefits for you guys. It's going to save you time so that you don't have to explain things to your sellers. You know, they might come back and ask you. Our form is designed to do that for them. And it can also give you competitive advantage in your listing presentation. If you're providing this tool that helps protect them and another agent is not, I would say that's giving you competitive advantage. It also helps protect your reputation in the business, and then it lowers your liability.
Because you brought up the presentation, why does this work in the flow of it? Like if you're sending out your free Sunday listing package, send out, like how does this as far as like communicating back and forth? Should we need to send them a link where it comes to
Yeah, I'm going to show you all of that here in the second part of the presentation, kind of how you send it over. And then one of these flyers that I gave you is actually a listing presentation flyer. I am going to get these sent over digitally as well, so you can actually put that in your listing packet presentation, but I'll show you exactly where to get this. And then, yeah, if you have any questions after that. Benefits for the seller, again, they have all those expert tips, resources. It's designed to help protect them. They have those expandable fields so that they don't have to, use any fields to just explain this big problem that they have in the home. And then another cool thing is they can go back and they can edit that form at any time versus doing an addendum or, having to fill out full new disclosure paperwork. They can go back anytime, edit that up until closing, I should say. And then they'll just re-sign date, initial that document, and then you and the seller will update it PDF document. We also have an e-signature verification, so kind of like DocuSign, secure. And then questions can't be skipped or missed. They have to submit answer every single question. And then just by using our tool, they are at less risk of missing questions, answering them wrong. So it's just a huge benefit for both you and sellers. This is the heat map of all of the states that we are currently active in. We are growing rapidly. I think we just opened up 3 new states in SkySlope, but we are looking to expand, through every platform. But right now we're in the yellow. We have over 100,000 active agents. We've actually done close to 500,000 disclosures at this point, and we've protected almost 100,000 sellers. So we're not a new company. We've been around for over 10 years, and our product is trusted by many. Just to recap, just by you telling your clients about us, is proving your fiduciary duty. You're letting them know that they have the option to be protected. By using this tool, they can help protect themselves. And then our platform does provide that legal separation, which is huge, which is why I think the key and everybody loves the tool is because it's legal separation. So if something does come up, there is some sort of a lawsuit, it kind of helps protect you guys from being dragged into that. And then if there is some type of a claim, we have resolved 94% of those or higher than ever going to court.
We're 94%.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, most 94%, and people see seller shield and they're like, well, we've even had people start a claim and then they see that we protected and okay. But that's kind of the gist of who we are, what we do. The next portion, I'm going to show you the demo, kind of what our platform looks like, and then show you how you send it to your seller, things of that sort. Do you have any questions thus far?
I guess it might be answered longer, but is this something that can be paid at closing if they do the?
Yes, great question. So our home sale legal protection, if they choose to purchase that, there's 2 ways. We offer a discount if they pay now, just because it's a little more work for us to collect from title. But either way is perfectly fine, and I will get those pricing sheets sent over to you guys as well. So when you log in as the agent, this is what your platform would look like. You can see in the middle right here, there's the invite seller button. You would select that to start sending the disclosure to your seller. This is exactly what the page would look like. It takes less than 90 seconds. So we just input their name, email address, property address, and their phone number. And then if you use .loop or zip forms, we have integrations with them. If not, it's very simple to use through Seller Shield. And then you would just select next. And then it would send this form to the sellers once you select next. This is, I'm going to show you that, but this is what your page would look like if you need to edit that invitation. So say you need to resend the invitation, you need to send your seller a reminder, say they said they didn't receive it, you can resend it, you can send them a reminder. You can edit their information, so if you spell their name correct, enter the property address incorrectly, you can do that. You can add the closing information. And then you can see in the middle here is where any completed disclosure forms will be housed. Like I said, they will also be emailed to both you and the seller, but if you would rather gather them or you can't find them in your emails, they'll always be stored in your dashboard as well. And then on the right-hand side, the home sale legal protection, you can see whether it's been reserved or not. This can be purchased anytime up until closing. So if, say you wanted to gift this to your seller, you could go in as the agent. This is where you could go in and purchase this anytime. Yes.
There's no like legal ramification of like the
No. No, and we have a lot of agents who do this as a waiver listing or as a post-closing gift. And we actually offer quite a discount for our agents because we work with investments. So just something to think about. And then this is the exact your sellers will receive to begin filling out that disclosure. It's just letting you know that you as the agent are requesting they fill out their property disclosure form using Seller Shield. They will just select this Start Now button in the middle here. And then that's going to take them to this page right here where it's going to auto-populate all of the information that you already input. So they're just going to want to make sure everything is correct, like their name, the property address. And if it is, they'll create a password so that they also have access to the dashboard as well. Once they get in, the next few slides are just going to educate them about that disclosure process. There's going to be this little pop-up right here that says Meet the Shield. It's kind of their the person that walks them through. But the first, it's going to let them know that disclosure forms are legal documents. 2, mistakes disclosing the condition of the home are the #1 cause of sale lawsuits. And then 3, even with accurate disclosures, buyers can still sue sellers. The seller has to actually check this box right here that says that they understand the risks and responsibilities that come with disclosing information for their home sale. This is huge, guys, because it's showing that legal separation. It's showing that you sent them this form, they have filled this out, they understand that you are not involved as the agent or the broker. At that point, they'll just agree to the Pennsylvania Association of Realtors user agreement, and then they are ready to begin disclosing. You can see over here on the left-hand side, they'll be able to see the percentage they've completed. They can see all of the sections. Up at the top, there's a legal tips, and then there's a legal tip sheet and a video that stays stagnant. So you can review those legal tips at any time. This is an example of the legal tips. What is seller's property disclosure statement? How can seller's property disclosure statement get me in trouble? They can click those arrows and it'll scroll down and give them those definitions or those reasons. And then here, where the orange triangle is where we have had industry experts go through these forms with a fine-tooth comb, and they have actually flagged areas where we see problem areas causing lawsuits. So it's going to flag your sellers and say, hey, slow down, take your time here. We see a lot of issues. So again, just kind of giving them that heads up, which is great. Again, it's that orange triangle. And then on this page, you can see where there's definitions. There's a couple, what is a gutter? What is a downspout? There's thousands, guys. There's a couple of examples. Anything they typically would have to come back and ask you, definitions. And then here, the seller, you can see, has no knowledge. They have to select something. They cannot move forward, not answer these questions. It would give them a red flag and say, you missed this, you have to complete this before sending it over. Once your seller signs, dates, and initials that document, like I said, you guys will both receive the PDF copy emailed to you. as well as stored in both the seller and the agent dashboard. This is what that would look like here. You would see where those are. We've added them. And then this is what your forms would look like coming from Seller Shield, custom, professional, neat, fully complete. And then we do have a new feature. I guess it's not really new now. It's not appropriate. I'm saying new all this time, but we have a transaction. We have a transaction coordinator, an admin, or if you know somebody who does this work, we have a program where they can actually have their own account and they can connect with as many agents as they want. It doesn't even have to be within the same brokerage, and they can send disclosures on their behalf. And it will still look like it's coming from you. They would just be the manager of it. You would still receive information too. So again, cool feature that we have if anybody has a TC or not. And this is just kind of some real stories. Little dog with a sweater. This is some real stories of real claims that we have. We do a team meeting every month. We used to do it every week, but we would get claims coming in every single week. So this is just a few examples of claims that we had coming in. One was a roof leak. The buyer experienced roof issues after closing. A roofer inspecting the damage mentioned previous leaks that had not been disclosed. And then just skip over, there was flooding in the basement. One of the buyers reported flooding with water entering through the walls and flooring, and it led to a verbal threat and a demand of $13,000. So again, these are just examples. I mean, you can imagine pulling up and like you just received a $13,000 demand letter. I would be like, what? We actually had one in Austin. This isn't not up here, but he received a demand for $19,000, I believe, when he was coming back, and that was for a crack, I believe, in the foundation. They said he didn't disclose.
So the buyers reported flooding in the basement after closing, and they demand $13,000. I assume that they found some sort of evidence that proved that the seller knew that there was a water issue ongoing.
Correct. Or they don't even have to have it. You can sue for anything, unfortunately. I know. It's wild. It is wild. Yes. But I'm assuming in this incident, they feel that they have some type of a reason to say that the buyer or the seller did not disclose this information.
And usually where that appears is if the buyer has a home inspection done, they'll reflect back to the home inspection where the inspector may have commented on visible evidence of there was water here somewhere in the lifetime.
Yes, correct. And then at that point, they would sometimes bring in the inspector, and they'll bring in the agent, the brokerage. When someone's mad, they'll bring in every single party.
Believe me, I really work full, so I can tell you.
Yeah.
Everybody can tell you.
Contingency period where, I mean, I guess it's that and don't, but if the issue is found and the inspector comments on it and the buyer chooses not to ask for it to be remediated, that's up to the buyer.
No. Seller is still responsible for disclosure. Disclosure is never exempted.
But what I'm saying is if they don't know, you're saying that if they can be awarded this kind of money, even if they didn't know, they can sue for anything.
They can sue for anything. Unfortunately, it's a super litigious environment. That's why I think our tool is so great, because it's making sure that the seller is filling out this disclosure to the best of their ability. Now, not every person is going to come in and sue. It's just when it happens.
It happens.
It happens, and it can be detrimental. I mean, like I said, we get claims ones that we can't sell to. So, and that's just our company.
I've got claims upstairs. 60, 70, 100 plus thousand. 13 is pissing in the wind. The amount of money that litigation happens and everybody goes in. Everybody's thrown in the pot. The brokerage, the agent, the buyer agent, the listing agent, the broker, I'm named, everyone is named. And then over process of elimination and during discovery, like, okay, KW Power, well, this actually happened before KW Power existed, so we'll take them out. It's really KW Philly or KW Philadelphia that this happened. So they slowly pick out, this is years it takes to do this.
Yeah.
So now, going back to the disclosure though, they're using they're using the inspection report. Say like if the item said that it was like a recommendation, but not mandatory, and then they just opted not to do it for whatever reason.
Depends on who has the better attorney.
Yeah, and I would
It's kind of already to the point.
that's true, and that's, great. But I would say, like, if someone comes in a stews and it's clearly right there on disclosure, I would say they're probably not gonna win, but like Vicky said, I mean, it really depends on the attorney. I mean, it's scary. Like when you get down to the nitty gritty, y'all are like, what? I'm like, I know. I never even knew this stuff existed before I started working here, but it does, and it's out there, and it's just good to protect yourself and your, so this isn't meant to scare you, but just to protect yourself and your sellers as best as you can as an agent. Because you don't want to be drugged into this stuff and have either A, your name thrown in there, and B, it's just the monetary, even if it's just your,
Which is a $5,000.
that's still a lot, So again, just some real life examples for you guys. Again, I don't want to scare you. A lot of the times everything's perfect and this doesn't happen, but when it does, it's just not good.
So septic tanks, nightmare,
Oh, yeah.
nightmare.
Yeah.
That 35 is an average. I've seen way in the 50s and $60,000 for retail.
And I live in Texas, so I would imagine the water damage and things up here is even worse. Because
We're a very high water table.
yeah, because it's, full of snow, and I bet whenever, if someone purchases in Philadelphia in the summer, and then winter comes around and they get all this water, that's why our most common package across the board is our 2-year protection package that covers up to $30,000 in legal defense fees, because all of the claims, I would, not all, but majority of the claims we see come in between months 10 and 14, so the 2-year protection package and stuff. Because usually, like I said, they'll try in the summer, winter comes, and they start finding all these issues.
And Philadelphia is sandwiched between two major rivers, the Delaware and the Schuylkill. They are high water tables.
Yes, I would imagine. We're in a dry desert town.
So then we have been, be able to, how can we, not press our clients, but like, we want to put this like as a part of the not mandatory, but like, this is, you want your house listed, this is what you have to kind of like do, because
Well, you have to stress, and this will, I'm sure, break it down for the information for the seller, the advantage of doing this.
yeah, they'll be informed, but we can't make them do
No,
anything.
But it's strongly recommended.
Okay. Well, they have to do the seller. No,
But
they have to do it.
The best of their
Right.
And they're offered the protection through that platform, so I don't know how you could put it, and Vicky might have a better way she wants to put it, but what I would say is, you're gonna be offered legal defense protection in the event of any, buyer seller dispute post-closing, it's peace of mind. It's optional, but you have the option to purchase it. I would say about 1 in 3 sellers purchase it, but, I don't know if you have a better way that you would want that said or, thrown out there. I guess you could say you recommend it, but I don't know if that's something you wanna do. That's totally up to you.
I think if we can sell them on whatever marketing plan we want them to pay into, we can sell them.
Ballpark, what would a 2-year coverage cost?
Yeah, so the 2-year coverage for a seller is $329, and that is if they pay now. Let me get my, figure out.
Well,
That's like, why wouldn't do that? That's like just paying for another inspection.
and if the listing agent has the availability, that could be part of your marketing tool.
That's what I'm saying.
Is that, hey, the $329 for you, if we're signing up to that listing with me,
I'm just gonna pull it up right now.
right? $329 is not a lot.
So, I mean, you're doing that.
Of course.
Yes, and purchase for your sellers, yes. We actually have specific, okay, so this is our seller pricing. So, 2-year protection package, $329, like I said, the 4-year is $1,029. I always, $329, I think is plenty. The 1,029, we have some higher end clients who have really high listings who just want that extra protection, but I think 2 years fine.
Are those the clients that are like starting in the million?
I would say it's more like,
I was just talking to my coworker just now with the client something. There's a like real popular famous chef in restaurant owner in Philadelphia, Claudia. She bought a new construction house last year. It was like plastered all over social media. Her pipes just burst.
oh my gosh.
It was one of those real cold days, and they found out that the covering that's supposed to be in the pipes one's missing, but it's brand new construction.
So that's gonna be, wow. I mean, I don't know how mad she's gonna be.
Oh, she did a whole lot of videos snapping.
Oh,
Because the house is over $1 million.
So for sure that.
And so everybody, now, just keep in mind, guys, how this
Yeah.
works. So the developer, the independent contractors, everybody, the electrician, everybody goes in the pot.
Yeah.
And then they pick them out.
They're just gonna shoot down, it's gonna have everybody.
Sure that has to go through, like, actually through town as well.
Well,
So
so what happens is, listen, guys, this all comes from experience. Because something's new, doesn't mean it was done right.
Yeah, definitely not.
So-
I see that it's even worse sometimes.
Yeah, so those who have purchased new construction know enough to know to build into their contracts to have inspections done periodically, agree to with the developer while the walls are open. And that's how the city comes out, and they evaluate when the walls are open. When the electric's done, the inspector comes out, who is an independent inspector. Plumbing, insulation, they do it in steps. You too, as a buyer, can have your independent contractor come out and verify. Because who do we know might be greasing the palm of the inspector for the plumber?
yeah.
And I'm telling you, I did a few flips when flips were the thing to do 15 years ago, and it is bad. It is bad. And I'm a nobody, and I knew how bad it was.
That's the way, I'm not very.
Like, so, 'cause I'm like to put money up for people. You never know. A closing is a closing. When you get closed, that's when we're closed. But say if I wanna say, okay, I'm gonna pay for this for you as part of my marketing package. Can we as agents still pay at the end?
Yes, agents can still pay at the end, and that's another great question. So say you purchase this for your seller as at the beginning, and the home sale falls through, we'll refund you your money. But yes, you can purchase it at closing. So I was just about to tell you the seller or the agent price. So for agents, for you guys, for the 2 years is $199. Still okay. $30,000 in legal.
Can you imagine how that sounds
Yeah.
to the ear?
We set up the 75,000 right off the bat, you can have, like, what?
See how fabulous you are as a listing agent, because nobody else is coming in with this. Let me tell you.
No, yeah,
That's why I like
it's a good.
getting with nickels to get this together here.
And then if you pay it closed for the 2 years, it's $299. So we offer $100. But so,
I don't know if you guys have any data on this, but what is like the general, like, timeframe that you see things come in after closing?
yes, 10 months, 10 to 14. That's why I was saying the 2 year.
So is there any statute of limitation on?
There is, there's different statute of limitations for every state. I think, yeah, Vicky, what's the statute of limitations here in Pennsylvania?
I think it depends on what, but I have lawsuits up there 4 years old.
Really?
Yeah.
Because in Texas, I believe ours is 2 statute of limitations. But there are states, some things, like you said, it's kind of dependent upon what it is. Some things are 4 and then some are 3, which is why we offer the 4-year package in the first place, because there are.
Yeah.
Done 4 years.
Yeah. My God, that pricing for an agent, this is like to me.
What is the pricing for the 4-year term?
The 4-year pay now is $529 and the pay close is $829. I'm gonna get all of this sent over to Vicky. I can actually send it to you guys right now if you want me to. I'm gonna give you your email address.
I'm gonna have everything sent out as a mass.
Okay, perfect. Then I'll just send this over.
So
Okay. But yeah, in the so this is our support team, guys. You can always reach out to me, but in the event I travel quite a bit and I do this and go out to brokerages, so in the event I don't answer, they are available all the time. We have chat support in both of our dashboards, agent and seller, support line, and then email. So make sure if you don't, you can find us on our website too, but. And then here, if you haven't already signed up, you can sign up here. This is just some FAQs, some questions. I think we already answered these, but if not, we'll do that soon. Yes.
Have agents given you any feedback on homes that sellers did this from not going the return on how quick they get a closing or the kind of transaction it was?
I haven't gotten any details on how quick we're closing. That's a good question. I should ask our team if they have any information on that. But I can tell you, we've had many sellers that are like, this was so easy to use. It's very user friendly. I have even some elderly sellers that have used it and said, this is
Yeah, the
great.
reason why I asked is I've wondered by having extra protection, are buyers more eager to purchase the property that had that extra protection?
Yes.
Because doesn't it have to be in the MLS that
Well, that was my other question. So we put in the MLS the completed seller's property along with the litigation
Yes.
in most cases. Okay. So now I'm the buyer's agent and I look it up. Is there an introduction that this is a seller shield home?
Everything
Say it
is,
on the bottom.
everything is stamped with seller's shield. So yes, I wouldn't say there's like an intro, but yes, everything will be stamped with seller's shield. So you can see that these were completed for us.
And is there something that gives an explanation to a buyer? So a buyer agent who's not familiar with it doesn't know what the hell it is and says, here's the seller's disclosure, because in their mind, that's all it is. But is there something that we could be sending to our buyer agents to show them the importance of this?
like a cover letter?
Yeah, I
Right.
think that's a great idea. Let me take that back to my team, because right now we don't, but I don't see why that's not something that they could, create. Because that would just help. I mean, a buyer's agent could also be a seller's agent too. So
Yeah.
the more agents that have,
Right. The seller agent's gonna know about it because they're using it. The buyer agent may have never run across it. But in multiple offer situation, which isn't a lot now, but it's there. It's one more tick up. Oh, by the way, this house has this.
I think it also will repair some of the damage that's been done in real estate with the lack of trustworthiness.
yeah, I'm writing this down, guys. So if you have anything else, I'm gonna go back and ask this, and I'll ask also about the numbers for of agents, like if this is helping, buyers want to purchase a property more because they know then.
It's a value,
I feel like if you're working with a buyer and they were kind of on the fence about putting an offer in because they saw something that came up on the inspection report that wasn't mandated, but it could potentially be an issue, it's like, okay, well, they've already told us that we have this seller's shield thing, so if something comes back down the line, we can go back.
I have some legal coverage here.
Yeah, so they might be less likely to.
Right.
They may want to go ahead and put that offer in on that property.
That's true. That's a good point.
Yeah, I like that. That's really true. Yeah, if they're thinking of suing and they know there's protection. It's like, well, you can, but you're gonna be wasting your time and your money,
but I would feel more secure about it if someone like.
Is there anything in the MLS that we can't send, or as far as because I know we can't put links and stuff like that, so we said, hey, this is protected by home. So.
Can you put in the agent or?
Yeah, you can do it, Nate, and just make a blanket statement. This home is covered.
But I mean, as far as if we had a cover sheet or something like that, could we, or a link to a more robust explanation for them that they could maybe share with their client or something that they can, does that allow for us to put into the MLS?
I think there were two ones, put that in her notes.
But they don't have
that
that.
out. They don't have that.
Right.
Okay.
I'm sorry, to put it in the.
So I know,
Uh-huh.
I don't even think, I know that because of what I see here, and there's 1,200 of these people, and how many will we have here? The phone is just going to be out of control once this hits. And they don't understand. They need a disclaimer, an explanation, something. What the hell is this?
Yes.
And how can this benefit my buyer?
Yeah. Yeah.
The sell side, that's the job of the listing agent to sell the product and show how good it is. But the buy side is ignorant.
Yeah.
They have no idea what's going on.
Yes, agreed. Yes, but that's in my notes. I'm going to take this back to my team. So hopefully we can get something pulled together for you guys.
Yeah.
I think that would be beneficial. For
It
sure.
will.
Yeah. 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 Well, I'm so glad you guys came. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Any other questions? I'm in no hurry. My flight doesn't leave till like 7. I got a while to get around.